In 2016, a young man named Suleiman Fakiri died in a prison in Ontario. That fact is clear, but a great deal more is not. That's the subject of a brand new TVO podcast that came out last week. It's called Unascertained and is hosted by Yusuf Zine, co-founder of the production company Interspeak, and he joins us now from Scarborough. Hi, Yusuf. It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm happy to be on the program.
Before we get into the case itself, can you tell us about who Suleiman Fakiri was?
Yeah, Suleiman Fakiri was a 30-year-old man who, him and his family came to Canada from Afghanistan, fleeing violence, fleeing war. Afghanistan was going through the Soviet Union invasion, and so the family came to Canada and settled in Pickering, Ontario. And Suleiman was, an average young guy, and in fact, above average. He was very intellectual. He was very smart, very athletic. But unfortunately, after a car accident, he developed a diagnosis of schizophrenia for a number of years. And unfortunately, in December of 2016, after a run-in with his neighbor during a psychotic episode, he ended up in the Central East Correctional Center in Lindsay, Ontario. And on December 15th, 2016, was found dead in his cell with over 50 bruises and lacerations on his body.
What does unascertained mean?
Well, it's interesting. Unascertained, I think when we started learning about this case, we didn't even know what it meant. We thought it meant that his cause of death was unknown. And just for context, when the coroner did their report on Suleiman Fakiri, on his death, their cause of death was unascertained. And so we sort of thought, oh, does that mean that they don't know how he died? But after speaking with other experts, we've come to learn that that doesn't mean that we don't know how he died. It means that there could be multiple causes of death. There could be 10, but the coroner couldn't pin one cause of death. So that's something we sort of do in the podcast, is try to re-examine his death and try to figure out what was the cause of death.
I can only imagine that for the family, that doesn't really bring them justice because it leaves a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can imagine losing your brother, your son, and to horrific circumstances, and not knowing how they died, and to boot, not having any sort of accountability. Nobody was charged in this case. No correctional officers were involved in the so-called altercation, have been charged to date, and it's been almost 5 years since his death. So that's one thing we explore on the podcast, is why was nobody charged? And if you can sort of think about or figure out how he died or what was the cause of death, can you then understand who is responsible for it?
I have to say this podcast is very riveting. We actually have a clip of it, and the voice you're going to hear is from Anthony Ouellette, who was an inmate on the same range as Fakiri. Sheldon, please roll.
It really hurt me seeing what happened to this poor individual that we're about to speak about, and how nobody wanted to stand up for him, and how, honestly, I'm getting shivers right now with what I'm about to tell you.
Anthony, having his voice in the podcast, how did that add on to this conversation?
Well, we were so focused. We've been investigating this case for over a year and a year and a half, and we were always so focused on what happened that day on December 15th. What happened in that cell? How did Suleiman die? But when we spoke to Anthony Ouellette, we found his name in police files, and he had spoken out previously in the media. We then learned that those previous 10 days that Suleiman spent in solitary confinement before his death were almost just as important as the day of his death, because as you'll hear in the podcast, Suleiman spent 10 very harrowing days in an Ontario jail in solitary confinement, where Anthony witnessed his mental health slowly deteriorating in his cell. And it's very hard to listen to, but I really encourage listeners to hear that episode, because it shows a very disturbing and very real look or peek into our Ontario correctional system.
And also the humanity that Anthony had towards a fellow inmate, but I won't give away too much of it. Why did you feel like you were the right person to tell this story?
Well, I don't know if I was the right person, or me and my, this is the result of me and my producing partner Kevin Young. We've been in this room for a year and a half investigating this case, and we're not investigative journalists or anything like that. Our background is in filmmaking. We were just kind of came off of making a documentary film about the Rohingya genocide, and I think that kind of prepared us a little bit to take on another very difficult story. But for us, it was really important that we surrounded ourselves with people who were more learned in this kind of stuff. So we worked with Michelle Shepard, who is an incredible investigative journalist and a filmmaker, and was amazing in helping us guide the story. And our producers at TVO and everyone who kind of helped us. We just really surrounded ourselves with people. And ultimately for us, we just needed to know the case. We needed to know it inside and out, and we reviewed thousands of pages of police files and records and documents, and looked at very disturbing photos. And for us, we felt like if we knew this case inside and out, then maybe we could tell it appropriately.
And I think it was during the first podcast, the first episode, you say that you set out to answer 3 questions, I believe. What were those questions? What did you set out to find?
Well, we set out originally to find, first of all, why was Suleiman in solitary confinement? How was someone with a diagnosed mental illness like schizophrenia for 11 years having schizophrenia end up in solitary confinement? That was the first big question. The second one is, why was he never sent to the hospital? He was a judge that ordered him to be transferred to a mental health hospital, and 3 days later he was dead. So why was he never transferred? And finally, what happened in that cell? That's still a question that there are multiple different versions and accounts of what really transpired that day and what led to Suleiman's death. And so that's something we really set out to answer in this podcast. We do multiple timelines in the last episode, we do a timeline almost minute to minute because the event that led to his death transpired over a matter of minutes. So we were able to go minute to minute, second to second, to try to really piece together, after speaking to experts and eyewitnesses, how he really died, and how this is a pattern in Ontario jails.
Well, congratulations on the podcast. We're very happy to have it here as part of TVO's podcast. Congratulations, and we look forward to hearing the rest of the episodes. Thank you so much, Yusuf.
Thank you so much, Ham.
For our listeners and viewers, the first 3 episodes are available now on your favorite podcast app.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario. CPA Ontario is a regulator, an educator, a thought leader, and an advocate. We protect the public. We advance our profession. We guide our CPAs. We are CPA Ontario. And by viewers like you. Thank you.